Let me ask you, in the process of starting up this company, I believe you started the tradition of the infamous purple shoe. Can you share with our listeners kind of a G-rated version of that story?
Sure, Sandy. Honestly, the only version of the story is G-rated, but it's very crazy. Prior to starting ISS, I was being heavily recruited by a large California technology company to be the VP of marketing for their emerging applications business. And the CEO of that company had a particularly crusty reputation and still does. And he was directly involved in courting me for a number of months. And he spent many, many hours invested in getting me to move to California and take this job. And after a long process and probably some indication from me that I was leaning in heavily, I disappointed them at the 11th hour by telling them I was starting my own company. And almost immediately after that, I received a very crass email from this CEO. And he said, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And he said, if you ever raise $1 in that company, he said, I will personally come to Atlanta and drink champagne from a prostitute's shoe.
Oh my God.
He was known for making outlandish claims, and my assistant never forgot that rude email. And on the day we closed our Series A venture capital with Greylock and Kleiner Perkins, she went to the store with another female employee, and she said we were yelling down the aisle, do these look like a hooker shoe to each other? And they ended up getting two purple shoes with a big bow, really high heels. They're the most gaudiest looking things in the world. And she brought those back to the company, and one of our engineers had made some homemade cider, and the whole company drank champagne from that shoe. We took a picture of it and sent it out to California. And so they became a symbol of pride in our culture. And they kind of represented the triumph of the human spirit to battle forward despite the odds and the detractors. And over the years, gosh, thousands of employees, customers, and partners have drank from those shoes to celebrate our culture. And I mean, one of them sunk to the bottom of the Grand Canal in Amsterdam. We recovered it. One was ended up in a massive public refuse dump in Puerto Rico. We sent a team in. They extracted it. It's been on the Great Wall of China. They've been just about everywhere. But today they're proudly exhibited in my office. How they survived 14 years of that is beyond me. But they're a great reminder that regardless of the detractors, regardless of the naysayers, if you're committed to something, there's always a way to find a way to success.
It's interesting you mentioned that because, to be an entrepreneur requires, as I mentioned earlier, special skills and traits. So clearly determination and commitment is one of them. Can you capture a few others for our listeners?
Well, like so many things in life, it all begins with strong leadership. I mean, the right leadership is critical and has broad implications for the future success of anything. But I think great entrepreneurial leaders are hardwired for meaning, and we chase the things that set our souls on fire. I mean, when you believe in something as passionately as a great entrepreneur does, I mean, it sets their soul on fire. And, the force of your conviction really causes other people to get motivated and, help you achieve your vision of the future. So I think that passion is the authentic purpose. And, there are all kinds of other skills. There's the skills that you can check the box on. Do you have the right competency and experience? integrity, etc. But then there are those intangible attributes that I think are some of the most important, such as leadership skills, loyalty, and the ability and capacity to coach and be coached. And so, as a entrepreneurial CEO, you have to be a player coach. And, you're usually the person that puts the coffee on early in the morning and you're the last one to leave at night. But when you love what you're doing, it doesn't feel like work at all.